One thing I think is very important in the culture of the ecumenical movement in the World Council, and that is to keep hold of a robust notion of what you mean by church. And what you mean by church, I'd say, is basically a community which exists because of the call of God to mutual service and mutual life-giving in the most radical possible way. We exist as church when we exist responding to the summons, the invitation of God, and know that in our response to that summons or invitation, we are given the gift to bring life to one another. At that level, to be a church is not to have a constitution everybody's signed up to. It's not to have a comforting and comfortable subculture. It's to speak to the world about a possibility of life in relation to God and one another, which looks beyond rivalry, violence, retaliation, exclusion, all the rest of it. And to be church is to be recreated in that model, day by day, week by week, above all, through the worship that we offer together, and I would say the sacramental worship in particular, where we kind of fling ourselves open to the act of God in a particular way. We gather and we say, here we are. Act, be in us, live in us. If we all as churches remember that that's what we're there for, that at least takes us a little bit beyond what Freud called the narcissism of small differences, the obsession with getting it absolutely right in our terms, rather than saying we're trying to say something about God's liberty to create human community, God's unshakable freedom and unshakable purpose to create human community. At a time of, well, frankly, terrifying polarization, violent, angry, despairing polarization in our political world, or almost wherever we look, the notion that there might be a gracious divine power whose purpose is our reconciliation, our peace with one another. I mean, that is such a huge claim, such a joyful claim. And if we can't, as churches together, suggest something about the hugeness and the joyfulness of it, we are in deep trouble.